Yo.
What up? What up?
Let's go, man. Welcome to like episode 17 for the evening.
Welcome back to the interrogation room, people.
Let's go. Where were you on the night of the 4th? What'd you do for White Team?
I don't know. You know what, man? The 4th of July just passed, and what's today? It was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I was not interested in the fireworks.
That shit is overrated, bro.
Like, I literally have people in my neighborhood that do it big.
Yeah.
And I typically go outside to watch. But yesterday, the kids were gone at their cousin's house, and me and the wife were home, and I'm just like, I don't even care. Like, my dog was scared, so I was like, I don't even want to go outside.
Yeah, like I don't even like for New Year's. Like it's like one of those things. Like I'll do it. Like people are there. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't really give a fuck. Like it doesn't matter to me whether or not like I'm not like one of these. Like I have to see or do fireworks on that day. Like,
yeah. I was actually surprised, man. 'Cause I typically go outside to watch it, but was just uninterested.
It was like a thing I like to do for like the kids, but they don't give a fuck. So it's like they're like, we watch shit blow up every day. Like they're just kind of.
And you know what? That's probably why I didn't go outside. Probably because the kids were gone.
Yeah.
Because they probably, like if I see something cool, then maybe show them. And, But I think because they were gone, I was like, cool. Let's watch a movie. Welcome back, everybody, to the Carpet Footman Podcast, episode 151. Let's go. He is Juan and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit him with the drink of the day.
Listen, man, I was going for the trifecta for the old fashioned. So we did a regular one, then we did a tequila one, and this week I want to do a take on an old fashioned, but this time using this bamboo rum from Barbados. So I'm calling it a Barbados old fashioned.
Okay.
Because if you do a regular dark rum like Abuelo or even the Bacardi and all stuff, it's gonna get a different flavor profile. Like I've done those, like even La Flor and all that. Like you're gonna get a different Diplomatico. I've done it with an old fashioned, tastes good, but this rum has a very distinct, like really sweet taste to it. So yeah,
and what is this?
It's a bamboo. B-U-M-B-U, I think. Bamboo. What? So it's so we did a shot of the bamboo. I did a half an ounce of simple syrup. A bar spoon of cherry syrup from the Bada Bing cherry.
Yep.
And then stir it up. And
you muddled the orange too, didn't you?
Oh, and I muddled, good point. I muddled an orange wedge at the bottom of it. So muddle the orange wedge with the simple syrup, the bar spoon of the cherry syrup, and then add the rum. Stir it up really nice, man. Pour it in a glass of rice and garnish with the orange peel again, and it tastes good, man. I like this one, bro.
It's good, man. I think after these 3 weeks, I'm convinced. Take any liquor, put the did you use the bitters? Right?
Oh, bitters, yeah. That's the
right.
Angostura bitters. Yeah, you have to add the Angostura bitters. I didn't even do orange bitters.
No,
so just the regular Angostura bitters. So just the one set of the bitters too, man. So
I was having
literally everything
yesterday.
old fashioned, and then just change the liquor.
That's what I'm saying. I think you could just add any liquor, add the bitters, add the simple syrup, and the Bada Bing cherry is probably good.
Yeah, just make sure it has good flavor. Like a liquor with good flavor, a good mezcal, good tequila, obviously the bourbon and the whiskeys, and then this bamboo rum, man, it slap. It's good, man.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think we're sharing the Carbon Footprint again this week.
Yeah, man. It's too much going on.
There's a lot going on, man. Yeah. So we're giving it to the Supreme Court. Don't know. I don't even know if it's positive, negative, or otherwise. Right? Kind of like you say in the beginning.
It might check a couple. It might check all of them.
So the first one that came out or that I read about was they're basically outlawing affirmative action in college admissions.
Okay.
So this came through from the Students for Fair Admissions. They basically contended that the colleges and universities were using, race in their criteria for acceptance.
Is that why this is because the Asians got mad because they weren't getting let into Harvard, right? I'm dead ass. The Asians were pissed because Harvard was like, oh, there's too many of you guys here. And then the people were getting like declined who met the criteria, except for skin color.
Yeah, pretty much. So previously, colleges could use race as a factor in the admission process. But the whole thing with like affirmative action is to kind of, especially in a school environment, is to achieve like a diverse student body.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's part of the education.
Yeah.
How do you, but like, I'm just thinking about, how do you enforce something like this? Because, colleges are notorious. There isn't a list, right? Unless you're going to like a community college of, if you check these boxes, you're guaranteed admission. It's a very subjective process. So how do you hold them accountable to this? Like, how do you know you didn't pick me because like...
Oh, because you have to take race out of the equation.
I know, but
you
then
can't check it.
You can't check the box that's in there.
There's
right?
no box.
But if your name is Tang Fung,
well, I mean, listen, you can't stop people from making assumptions.
If your name's Kyle Jones, I'm gonna know what the fuck you are, probably for the most part, or Dylan, or Brooke. Jorge applies. Like I know what that is, right?
So no, man. It was, and this came about. It was for Harvard and also for University of North Carolina. Okay. So, challenged by the students for fair admissions. Apparently, they were taking like academic, extracurricular, athletic, school support, personal, and then overall, and then they would like narrow it down. But then it would come into like status and financial aid eligibility and race, and race was just in there. And so these students were just like, nah, like race, like all these other things are okay, but race is not.
So you can't solely, or you can't factor in race at all in a college admission.
Yeah.
And
it's funny, man. It's like one of those things where I don't necessarily disagree with. However, I do believe that universities should be diverse, right? Because when you go out into the real world, you're going to deal with a diverse group of people, especially living here in the States, right? Like there's not one, obviously I guess there is a sort of a dominant race, but there's so many. If you're in any major city across this nation, you are in a diverse. You are in people of diverse backgrounds.
Unless you're in the middle of the country, you're pretty much in a diverse background, dude.
Duke's
there, basketball
bro.
team is about to get wild. They might be the whitest team in the country.
Yeah, but are they now? I don't think they are anymore.
I don't know. Duke,
wait a minute, maybe they.
Duke is the only one that I go, yo, how are you guys consistently this good with this many white people?
And so, and I'm guessing this is for all universities, and so
I would think so, right? Like it can't be specific because if it's a Supreme Court ruling, it has to apply across the
I would imagine
right?
so.
Yeah.
And then and I imagine they just take out the race box, right? When you fill out an application, that's just not there anymore.
And this is only for schools, right? So you can still do this for jobs, and
I guess
I mean,
but it's actually good that you said about jobs because the next one that they came up on was the Supreme Court talked about or came a ruling on was that businesses are allowed to discriminate against the LGBTQ plus community.
Is it just them or is it just anything? They're allowed to discriminate.
I would imagine it's just anything, but the case was some like. I can't remember, man, but it was some sort of it was like a person or a small company that was doing websites, and they got into like doing like wedding websites, but there was a disclaimer on their page that said like we're not doing, and again I'm gonna paraphrase here because I didn't read it myself. But essentially, like we're not serving that community.
We don't do gay with our cakes or
correct.
Whatever. Okay.
We're not doing that. And it was because of religious beliefs.
Okay.
Right. And the Supreme Court upheld it, and they're like, yeah, like they don't have to serve you.
So do you have to have a religious component of it to not serve them, or can you just not serve them for?
No, I think because it's just a belief. It doesn't have to be religious.
Okay,
if you believe,
how do you
not.
just this is again the slippery slope. Like
you can justify anything, bro, right? Like you can, and let me tell you, man, if you want to discriminate against a people and you're not really religious, guess what? That day you will be.
Yeah. Dude, I disagree with people doing that, but I agree with their right to do that. Like, listen, the market will dictate the tolerance that we have for stuff like that.
That's it right there.
And
bro.
as the market has dictated, is like, we're down with some bigotry, bro. We stopped buying Bud Light real fast. like people started making up all kinds of reasons of why they weren't buying Bud Light, but at the end of the day, it just showed that they were just anti-trans, right? Like, or what, it was like, I mean, and I know it's a little more nuanced than that. Like, people are just kind of like, think over the woke shit and feeling like the woke stuff is like blasted into our face. Yep. But at the end of the day, I'm like, if you really look at it, it's just people are being a little bit, like kind of bigot in that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And not for nothing, man. Like you said, if you are putting yourself out there as a company that is not going to serve a particular community, be it LGBTQ or any other community, like, good luck.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like, I agree with their right to do that shit, man, and good luck. Like, and then again, the market will dictate. The market will decide for that, right? Like, people are either going to use you or they don't. I prefer this. Like, I can make an informed decision. I want to know where you stand then. Or I don't care. Like, I really don't. Like, I just rather buy it and then not know. I'd rather be ignorant, right? Because maybe I really like your cupcakes and now I got to feel bad every time I go buy a fucking cupcake. It's like every time you get in the Chick-fil-A line where you're just like, man, these guys are assholes, but these chicken nuggets are flat. It's like, and I got to make a decision, right? It's like, yeah.
Dude, speaking of Chick-fil-A thing, I went there recently. And every time I go anywhere with my sons, and in this case was one of the times, I'll use the opportunity to have those kind of discussions. And in this particular one, it was in an area where there was like, there's like other fast food chains and other fast food chains that we had been to.
Okay.
And I was like, man, why do you think that the people here, like, the food's always good, the people are friendly, the service is great, right? They're pulling from the same pool of employees as the McDonald's, the Burger King, the blop, the list goes on. But you go to those places and they're in the same vicinity and you get shitty service, shitty food, etc.
I don't think they're pulling from the same people, bro. I think they're venturing just outside of those neighborhoods.
You think so, bro? Do you think?
You ever see someone at Chick-fil-A that you're like, oh, I could put you in a McDonald's uniform?
Not never.
They clean them up real nice. It's like Pretty Woman. Chick-fil-A is the Richard Gere of fast food. They doll them up real nice, and we're like, I ain't even know you were ratchet.
Right? But no, man, I'm always going like, why? Like, it's got to be that company culture. Like, obviously, right?
Is.
It's got to be
it's
like,
absolutely that.
Right? And then you go like, if you're hired there, you imagine that the culture is like, we probably, I don't know, whether it's work hard, play hard, whatever the case is, but everybody comes in there, we all have the same, or we all have similar attitudes, and the customer service is on point, and the food's got to be on point. And like, if you come in there and you're trying to fuck with that, then you're out.
Dude, Chick-fil-A offers though a ridiculous package for their employees.
Really?
Yeah, because like you said, it's their company culture, but I think their company culture is like, they sort of make you feel like they care about you. And you get, like, I know people who work Chick-fil-A who are like in their management programs and stuff like that.
Yep.
And the things that they do for them, like, it's like, it goes beyond the, like, for their employees, it goes beyond the whole, like, we'll pay for college. Like, I've heard of people at Chick-fil-A telling me they get like life coaches, and they get like,
wow,
like, and they check in on you, and it's like, not just like, hey, how are you doing? It's like, hey, how are you doing in school? How are you doing this? What are your goals? What do you want to do? Like, they're looking at it beyond, like, how are you spiritually? How are you, like, they're looking at you as a human being. And I think, again, it just goes to show, bro, man, the way you treat your employees, man, they're a reflection of you. Dude, you ever been to places where you get like a service and I immediately know, like, oh, this must be a good place to work for. Like just based on the disposition and the demeanor you get from people, you're like, oh, they must treat their employees well. Like, you just know from like, even like going, like, we were talking about McDonald's earlier, whatever, but I can always tell the McDonald's franchisees or whatever, even if it's a corporate location, like, oh, they like this store just by the way the people act, right? Like they must really like this place.
Yeah, like the McDonald's on Disney property.
Yeah,
phenomenal,
amazing, right? Yeah. Those guys are. Yeah, I mean, it's
don't
not
know
a coincidence,
why,
bro.
But I mean, this is probably because you're on the mouse property.
Exactly. It's a world-class brand, world-class, benefits and all that stuff. Like it's like how your people are a reflection of you, man. It's like the you treat them like shit, and that's what you get. You attract garbage if you offer garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's as simple as that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So the third one that the Supreme Court came out on was they killed Biden's plan to wipe away $430 billion in student debt.
Sheesh.
So this shit came up. It was a case. The case against this bailout was brought up by 6 states: Arkansas, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and South Carolina.
Those states voted against it?
They brought the case up to not allow the bailout.
So Arkansas,
Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, South Carolina.
Yo, what is the college admission in those states?
I was just gonna say, what
do they rank in terms of like college?
How many electoral votes?
Yeah.
Do those guys have?
Why do they have
combined?
3? Like Arkansas, Iowa, y'all share. South Carolina, you get the one from the north. Why are we letting states with like the least amount of impact on our thing like dictate this type of shit? Like,
I don't know, dude.
I don't even know how I've heard so many arguments on both sides about this whole thing about like I
think
paid mine.
The idea of college is it costs way too much. It's way overpriced, right?
Stupid, yeah.
So I don't disagree with giving away education. However, you didn't have to take that loan.
No, you didn't. But it's the biggest racket in the world, right? Because like,
yeah, but then the way you kill rackets is by not feeding into it.
Absolutely, but like you won't let me rent a car until I'm like 25 in a lot of places without charging me a premium. But you'll give me $100,000 loan to go to school at 18 before my frontal lobe is developed. Correct?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
and then they'll also send you to war,
right?
But you can't buy a beer.
But you can't. So it's like you expect me to have the common sense to not sign up. Which again, I understand. Like you made a decision. You're an adult. Like you should live with that. But I also, I don't know. I look at the whole college system as really predatory because it's the only loans that you qualify for no matter what.
Yep.
And then it's the only thing that you can't get out of. You can't bankrupt yourself out of student loans. You can't, like, it just seems extremely predatory to me to offer that. So like I struggle with this because it's like on the same breath, like, a lot of us paid for school on our own or did get a loan and pay it back or did, whatever the circumstances are for
we join the military.
Or you join the military or you have a job that pays for it, whatever,
Yep.
right? But I also, on the flip side, know we bailed out a lot of companies during the crash in 08. We bailed out a lot of companies during COVID. Like, shouldn't we have taken the stance of, like, you guys should have been ready for a rainy day? Like, I don't, like, it's just, like, I'm not passionate in either direction. I just don't think that you could, like, sit on one side of that fence.
And you can always make an argument.
Being a hypocrite.
You can always make an argument for any bailout, right? Like, even like when the auto industry got bailed out, it goes like, well, we're saving X amount of jobs.
Sure.
Right. So like I get all of it, and I don't disagree with the bailout here.
But then, do you think the college system becomes you can't get into this habit because you want people to keep borrowing these large amounts because banks are reliant on the interest from these loans and to sort of keep this machine going that you're feeding into it where you're just printing money for a bank all the time because they're letting you borrow money. The conspiracy theorist in me goes, is this too big to fail, quote unquote, where like there's that much money and that many jobs centered around student loans?
Well, I think
you can't just forgive them.
That's the other thing, man, is the jobs, right? So you have companies that are requiring you to have these degrees, right? So if you want to have any level of success, at least the path that's shoved down your throat is the path of college.
Right.
So it's kind of this, it's like this.
Dude, a bachelor's has become a high school diploma now.
Yeah, but a lot of companies still require it.
That's what I'm saying. But the bachelor's is like the new high school diploma. Like,
right.
I remember, fresh out of high school, the big thing was like, high school diploma was like the requirement on a lot of it.
Right.
But now I see job applications where it'll be like $14.50 an hour or whatever the minimum wage is now, and it'll be like bachelor's degree required. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
In what?
And it's just weird, man.
I was having a conversation with somebody recently, man, and they were talking about different jobs, and they don't have a college degree, but was thinking about looking at jobs that they believe they could do and wouldn't apply because it said bachelor's degree required. And I'm like, nah.
Just apply,
I
bro.
go, just apply. Like,
Yeah, they have to put that, or they feel like they do.
You're right. And it's just like if you have the skill set and you've been working in the field for X amount of years, I'm like, they'll take that.
You can
over
overcome
degree.
that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, dude. It's just weird, man. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't feel any. I'm not anti or against or whatever. I think it's nice. I mean, cool if you can give some people this head start. Like, I get it. I don't subscribe to this whole like, well, what happens to everybody who's paid it before? Like, okay,
yeah,
like,
that's
I don't
over.
care. What happens to all the businesses that actually, kept their, like again, like who kept their employees employed during COVID and figured out a way to keep them busy and pay? And what happened to the car manufacturers that did figure out a way to not have to give? I ain't see us bailing out Toyota or Honda or any of those companies. Like, it was like I
think Toyota and Honda were fine. It was the American companies.
The American companies that so it's like I don't know, man.
Toyota's number one in the world, bro.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
Yeah, they are.
It's fucking solid cars, bro. They never break down, which is crazy, dude. You think of like a product as like your sustainability comes in people like repurchasing.
Yep.
But like in the case of a company like Toyota, it's almost like the opposite. Your longevity, like somebody buys a car and it's gonna last them 10 to 20 years. And it's like you're not even making money off that person again for another decade or two, but yet they're still number one because they're sheer volume because of the longevity of the vehicle. Just
and you get loyalty.
Yeah, you do. That's the same. And then like certain things that you buy that you go, no, you can't make it too good because I need you to buy it again in a couple of years because I need a sort of recurring customer. And yeah, like you said, Toyota is just like you have this loyalty from people who purchase those cars who are just like, I'm just gonna keep buying them because they never break. Like, yeah.
So for those of you who were looking forward to this bailout, the president did announce that he would just try a different strategy.
Well, I saw that there's a obscure like law that he could use, and he could almost executive order his way through it anyway, or use some.
Well, I think that was the thing with this, where it was like it was found that he kind of overstepped his.
Oh, his
executive
boundary. So I know they were saying that there was some like 1960s or something law that he could use to like almost push it forward anyway.
There's definitely other avenues to approach. So he's claiming he's still going to do that. So those of you who are looking forward to that bailout, all hope is not lost.
Listen, and Biden ready, bro. He in the White House doing cocaine, trying to stay up.
You see that
shit? They found cocaine in the West. That shit was headlines. I'm like, of course, you got to keep this motherfucker up. Let him be.
He's already on a sleeping machine, right?
Let the president stay awake, bro.
What's that shit called? A CPAP?
CPAP, bro. Yo, you roll out of bed a CPAP and do a line off the nightstand right quick and get your day started. Let's go.
Yeah, he was on some shit the other day. He was on some like show where they were interviewing him. It was like a lady and kind of like we're doing here, sitting across the table. And then, typically when those interviews, when they end, they'll cut to commercial, and then when you come back, the person's gone.
Yeah.
This is like, she's like, all right, Mr. President, thank you so much. Like, they shake hands, and he starts walking off before he's supposed to. I'm like, poor guy, man. He's fucking 80. What do you want?
Where's my CPAP?
Where's my line?
I can't breathe. Where's my line? Yo, that's... not for nothing, man. I don't want to get too far into politics, but I've had this like change of heart watching like sort of politics unfold now, and I'm sure my mind will change again on this. But I had this thought that I thought there was no way that Donald Trump could lose, like especially if he doesn't get convicted. All this shit that's going on, and I thought like if he doesn't, it just like makes the machine bigger, and then he just runs off with it. I think people are over it, man. I think
over him.
Over him.
Yeah.
I don't think, dude. The he still has his like really passionate base, but you're just not seeing it get as riled up as you used to. And I almost think like, again, man, I think we don't want to admit it, but I think the last 3 years where we're not like all fucking at each other's throats all the time, like even social media.
Shit matters, bro.
It does, bro. I think we're all kind of like, it's kind of peaceful, bro. I'm not yelling at my neighbor anymore or my cousins on Facebook or whatever, where you're telling them they're stupid and that. Like, I think we all like this time where we're not all like at each other's throats from a political standpoint. So it's like, I don't know that it's Biden or whatever the fuck, but I'm starting to think like, I kind of think the Trump machine's done. Like I think he's gonna have his group or whatever that supports him. I don't think it's gonna be big enough to carry him forward.
Dude, I saw a flag. The old school like Trump Pence flag. Mm-hmm. Somebody had it, and it was a Trump DeSantis flag.
Oh, where if they team up.
If they team up. Ooh. Yeah. It was Trump. It was definitely Trump on top. Ooh. and like DeSantis as a
because the vice president, right?
Right. You go that
Trump would never do vice president, so yeah, you have to.
Right, and that would because he can only run one more time.
Correct.
Right, and if they did a good job,
well, he can run, but he can run as many times. He can only serve one more term.
He can only serve one more term.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if that duo won, and they did well, DeSantis would just
you just go 12 years. You control the White House.
Correct.
Basically. You go like again. I'm gonna change my mind fucking 2 more times, but that actually might be the best strategy if you're like the Republicans, where you just get in a room and you go, yo, this is the ticket. Like, we take this, Trump, you do yours, and then DeSantis, it's yours.
Right.
8 years after that. As long as you don't fuck this up like Trump, as long as Trump doesn't do anything
as long as you get that $80,000 surgery to get a couple inches.
Like, Ron, we gonna give you some legs. You can't be all thighs. We gonna give you some shins too.
But you ain't got no legs with that damn.
It's fucking crazy, bro. No, but that might be the best strategy moving forward if you're them to win. I honestly think that we're so okay right now with how things are. As much as people want to complain about the price of shit, as much as people want to complain like inflation, but the job market is good right now.
Yeah.
And the economy, if you don't pay attention to the news, it's still good. Like, we're all complaining about the price of things, but we're still spending money.
Oh yeah.
And so you go, and we're not at each other's throats. I don't hate the people that I barely know that are my quote unquote friends on Facebook right now. You know what I mean? I think we kind of like it. Like, we'll keep the status quo, bro. I'm like, if you can prop Biden up just long enough, I think people are just gonna go, fuck it, vote for the dead guy. Let's keep this train rolling.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
Fucking keep him rolling.
Dude, he must be doing the accounting at the Pentagon.
Oh, you talking about what happened with that?
There was like a $6 billion accounting error with the numbers that they put in for I think it was the Ukrainian.
$6 billion, bro?
Yeah, dude, I'm almost positive, bro. I think it has to be. I think it's $6.2 billion or something. And I can tell you exactly what it was. It was like they valued these assets that they gave, I think, to the Ukraine.
Okay.
Whoever was doing the bookkeeping should have did like the book value, meaning, or sorry, like the book value as of today. So I don't know. Let's say you buy this laptop, right? From an accounting standards, this laptop depreciates over time. 12 months from now, let's say you bought it for $1,000 and you depreciate it over 2 years, whatever, you deduct whatever that is. So it has a different value,
right,
or whatever, the net value after the depreciation.
Yep.
So instead of doing that, we were giving used things essentially, or things that were depreciating already to the Ukraine. Someone put the purchase price in the accounting, which, listen, as someone who's worked in accounting and finance, it's like a really easy thing to do. Like, it's a very common mistake. It's just that at that magnitude, it sounds crazy, right? The $6.2 billion. Right. But when you're dealing with $1 trillion budgets, it's like that shit probably didn't even move the rounding.
Yeah, and I know you and I have worked together before, and I remember you making comments of, like a dollar amount where I would look at it and go like, oh shit, that's a lot. And then you'll go, that's immaterial.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah, so from you're right. It's all relative to like the size of the company, right? Correct. So you just go $6.2 billion, like you see the headline and you're like, holy fuck, and it is a lot. I'm sure someone got reamed, people got fired, but when they're explaining the accounting error, I'm going, oh, I could totally see that. That shit happens all the time. Like, normally you would catch it because for a lot of companies, like, that amount could be substantial. But when you're dealing with the Pentagon or those budgets, I go,
like you said, $1 trillion budget.
It's $1 trillion budget, bro. 6.2 isn't, it's a fraction of what you're dealing with, and it was still big enough to stand out, I'm sure, but it didn't stand out, I think, to like some audit or whatever they got done, or there was something going on where
do they bring in like Deloitte and shit to do theirs?
I would think they have to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Like, do they hire Deloitte, or is that I don't know?
Yeah, like a big four accounting firm. Yeah, you would have to. Yeah, I think
who are the big four?
Deloitte, E&Y, KPM. So E&Y, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, KPMG, and PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Okay.
So those are the big four, which I think one of them is, I don't want to misspeak, but I think one of them is starting to fall off of the top four, and somebody might be ready to like slide in. But yeah, I felt like there was. I had read this thing.
That's like the Christ. That's like the Christ level of the big four.
Yeah, for real. But the whole, like, it's funny, man, because I read the headline and then I read how it happened, and I'm like, okay, I could totally see that happening. But then with the amount, it's like, man, that's a lot. But then I'm like, oh, fuck, these people are dealing with $1 trillion, annually, not, $1 million or whatever. So it's like, I can totally see that. To your point, like, it's immaterial. That maybe doesn't even throw off the rounding, especially when you're talking about assets held by the U.S. military. Think about our spending annually on the military.
I don't even know what it is, bro.
Dude, let's just say our annual spend, I think, for the military is in the I'm gonna have to look that up. But let's just say it's $1 trillion a year we spend on the military, or hell, let's say it's $500 billion, right? You're talking about they're working with a book of assets that's decades old, right? So they're going everything they have on the books over that time, spending $500 billion a year buying jets, buying tanks, buying things. It's accumulating over time, right? So you're probably talking about a ledger of assets that might be $7 trillion, and then you're talking about $6 billion. Like, it's easy to get lost in that fold. Like,
I can see that.
Yeah. So it's funny, man. I saw the headline. I'm like, it's still obviously, again, it's like, it's professional like malpractice for sure, but you go, it isn't as egregious as it sounds in relation to what they're doing. Like,
right.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who don't give a fuck about money. Ben and Jerry's. For those of you who have not seen Ben and Jerry's this week, for the 4th of July, they had a controversial tweet. And the tweet says, and I quote, "The United States was founded on stolen land. This 4th of July, let's commit to returning it to..."
The indigenous, like...
No, let's commit to returning it. That's what it said.
Okay, so what's the plan? What are they proposing?
I don't think they have a fucking plan.
We all leave? Who's buying the ice cream?
So, dude, I'm looking at this shit and I'm just like, damn. So I went down a rabbit hole and I go like, okay, Ben and Jerry's probably is not like a self-containing company. They're probably owned by somebody.
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, they're owned by a corporation called Unilever.
Oh, Unilever owns Ben and Jerry's?
Yeah.
They own a lot of shit.
Okay, thank you. So I go because I was going down the rabbit hole like with the tweets, and you could see everybody's responses.
I didn't even know they were in the food game.
And everybody's like, what the fuck, these guys? Like, the ice cream sucks anyway. And it's like, oh, well, next time I go into the freezer, I'll just grab the ice cream next to it.
No, dude, you gotta stop buying soap and shit if you got Unilever.
Dude.
Right? It's like,
I mean, let me look this up because I did that. So that they own 35 brands.
Damn, I didn't even know they owned brands in the F&B space, man. I thought it was strictly like consumer products.
And it is consumer products as well, but shit like right there, I just looked at, Hellmann's.
Shit, Unilever owns Hellmann's?
So
that's big.
Let me look at some of these other ones. Dove, so like Dove soaps.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hellmann's, Knorr, I guess that's how you spell it or pronounce it, Knorr. If you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Magnum, the ice cream bars, those really good fucking ice cream bars.
Slap, yo. They're really good.
Where the fuck is this? All right, here we go. I said that already, and I'm going through the ones that I'm trying to go through the ones that I know. But Smarty Pants, 7th generation, Vaseline.
Yeah, okay. You said Smarty Pants?
Yep.
So that's the vitamin brand?
I guess.
Wow.
But yeah, so I'm wondering, like...
You got to boycott all of that shit.
You got it right. To really do it right. Like, if you want to boycott, you got to boycott.
We're not going to do that,
No one's going to do anything, bro. It's the fucking rage for the week.
Yeah, we want to rage for the week and get all righteous on social media and fucking... It's we want to sit there and
But I was actually wondering, like what would be the like, you're gonna put a tweet out like that, you're gonna get the negative backlash, right?
Yeah, you would have to expect it almost.
But so I started to go in the rabbit hole in my head of going, is Ben and Jerry's, like, have their sales not been good and they just go, you know what, let's put something out there just to fucking to cause controversy on purpose.
Get us back in the news cycle.
Right. Like, get people talking about us, bro.
Is good publicity, right?
You saw the shit recently with Logan Paul and KSI. They launched that drink Prime.
Yeah, which is good. I like it.
I don't like it, but
did you have the can or the powder or the bottled?
No, the bottled.
Huh. I love that shit, man.
So I didn't care for it, but they launched in Europe, Germany, Spain, Denmark, and Norway, and they did like a little tour, right? And they had fucking all their fans coming out or whatever, and they had this shit where they had their fans throw empty bottles at them, almost like they didn't like it,
like booing them.
Yes, and it was on purpose, and it was just to get the media hype. Right, they got a shit ton of like
now
free,
it's trending. Now.
Yeah, it's like free media. So I'm wondering, like, is this Ben and Jerry shit something like that, where you just go like, let's just put out some fucking outrageous statement that's gonna get get this uproar from a lot of the country, but it gets us back in the media.
On the news cycle. Dude, where does so I know they said that and there was a link and I didn't get a chance to go in. Does the link take you anywhere to like
I don't know, man.
Donate or here's the plan or because it does seem like a very open-ended. Let's give the land back. Like what do you like how? You know what I'm saying? Like so that I'm gonna assume that you have something to back that up with.
I saw people that were fucking responding to it and they were just like, well, your headquarters is in, wherever, like in Maine. So start by giving back that land to the and they named a couple tribes that were from there. I
mean, fucking A, bro. But if you're gonna go down that rabbit hole, you almost kind of have to, right? Like you have to do the whole, like tribes that own casinos or that sort of thing. You almost have to go like, okay, this is yours now, or we're gonna give you a cut of this, or whatever. Like I don't know if you want to like really walk the walk, but I agree with you, man. I hadn't really thought about that, but I think it's a whole keep me in the news cycle thing. Like, just let's talk about it.
Yeah, right. Like, when's the last time you seen Ben and Jerry in the news?
And it's funny because I think of Ben and Jerry's. You buy it at the supermarket and they have the little tiny tubs, but I also forget that they have actual stores.
They have brick and mortar stores.
Brick and mortar, yeah. Where they're serving ice cream. So you're like, yeah, man. I've never heard them in the news other than when they drop like some random flavor that again they do for publicity. It'll have some weird name. It'll be some nasty sounding thing that you're like, okay, that's got to be this has to be that, man.
That's what I would imagine, man.
It has to be that. Like because again, I gotta go in there and see where I know there's a whole video behind it supposedly, but I didn't see where the link takes you and all that stuff. Like I saw I saw like a snippet of the comment, but I didn't get a chance to dive down the article or go onto the link, but. It has to be that, bro. Because, Logan and KSI, genius, right? People were talking about it. It's trending, which kudos to them, dude. They signed a deal with Barcelona. They signed a deal with an English Premier League. Barcelona FC, the soccer team. Oh, is that right? They signed one with, I'm going to get this wrong, but a major English Premier soccer team, like one of the big ones. They signed, they're the official drink of the UFC. They're like, those guys are on fire
good for
now.
Them,
dude, and whenever you pull off these beverages, right? That's a B. It's billions. It's not, they're not going to be worth 100, 200, whatever. Like if they do this right and hold it for a long time, you're talking about $1 billion brand that they've just stumbled onto. I'm like, man, and to compete with the Powerades and the Gatorades. It's a market that's pretty well established, man. Like the commercials for Gatorades go back to my childhood, man. 20 plus years.
And there's been other ones in the last, 10 years or so that have come out that are really good too.
Yeah,
man.
Body Armor.
Body Armor, that's
great. Yeah. And I like Body Armor too. I think where Prime is gonna separate itself or has separated itself is in when you taste it, it tastes like it should be bad for you. And then you read which Logan pay me for this shit. And you read, you read the nutrition facts.
Say no more.
Yeah, say no more. Go buy Prime and look at but you read the nutrition facts and it doesn't make sense. So like I think where they're starting to separate themselves is that it doesn't have the sort of unhealthy quote unquote, at least from first like appearance right now.
Oh, is that right?
The sugar content that's in.
Is it really low?
In Gatorade, there's like 20 calories in one of those Primes. That's a normal bottle the size of a normal Gatorade.
Oh,
bottle.
Wow.
On their and it's not diet Prime. It's like their normal one.
Yeah.
It's like 20 calories. I've seen some that are 15. And I don't think they have one that goes over 25. So you're talking about sugar content's low, calorie content's low, electrolytes high, whatever the sodium level is what it needs to be. So you're like, you can talk about you rehydrate athletes at, no sugar, no thing, no whatever. I'm like, you're going to be onto something really good here. But, dude, I say that to say that fucking Floyd was notorious for drinking like Coca-Cola after training. So fuck do I know. And that guy's in phenomenal shape.
And taking a fucking tablespoon of salt.
But he literally, I think Floyd was like, that's what he would need to sort of like reset his insulin levels after a training session was Coke.
Yeah.
The sugar. And there's been like studies that go like, like a can of Coke, that should, like as much as he trains and as much as he thinks, like, no, that would be instantaneous. And because of who he is and how he trains and whatever, it's like, no, he would burn that. It wouldn't feel like a normal person.
I still drink like colas, so like Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah.
On occasion, like if I have pizza, I gotta have soda.
Oh, you have to.
Right,
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah,
have like a cola.
Yeah, you can't do pizza with water.
No.
Yeah.
And so, but the first time that I seen what Pepsi and Coke does to like corrosion, like battery, like a car battery.
Bro. Yeah,
Yo, if for those of you who don't know, if you ever have like the corrosion on your battery terminals in your car, pour Pepsi or Coke on that shit. It dissolves all that corrosion. If you have a screw that has corrosion on it, stick it in a cup with Pepsi, and you see that shit fizzing.
Eats it away. Dude, put it in your toilet, in those rings you get in your toilet.
Oh yeah,
same thing. Eats away those. And we
put that shit in our fucking stomach.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it, man. Like we put that shit in our bodies, like sometimes in like egregious amounts, but that shit is eating away at rust.
Every time I have one, bro, I think about that shit. Dude, did you see the fucking hot dog eating contest?
I didn't see the actual contest.
No, I refuse to watch it.
Yeah, but I did see.
It's disgusting.
He's won it. Yeah, it grosses me out. Like I have zero interest in watching somebody down that much. Like,
but this guy Joey Chestnut.
Okay.
So he wins his 16th Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
My man, the Bill Russell of Glizzy Gobbler.
Bro,
this guy's
39 years old. He ate 62 hot dogs with the buns in 10 minutes.
What toppings? Are we there? No toppings?
I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to watch, but you see these guys where they'll, they stuff their mouths and they'll put like a little bit of like whatever lemonade or some shit to wash it down, bro.
How many minutes did he do this?
10 minutes, dude. 10 minutes. And he beat the second place guy by more than 20 hot dogs, bro.
Yo, how long does that guy live?
40.
So tomorrow.
Dude, I can't imagine. And afterwards he goes, and I quote, "I feel great. I feel like I haven't eaten." What kind of training? First of all,
yeah, how many are you eating during training? Because you can't just be doing.
And he's not a fat guy.
No, he's in like decent, okay shape.
I mean,
like he's not in shape, but he doesn't look obese.
Oh, he's definitely not obese.
No.
And you seen so the girl that won is Miki Sudo. I probably butchered that name.
An Asian girl?
Yeah, she's definitely of Asian descent. Her 9th victory. She's 37 years old. She ate 39 and a half hot dogs and buns.
What does she look like?
In 10 minutes. Not horrible.
I'm the judge of that. Let me see.
Miki is the first name, and then Sudo.
I'm glad you know me so well. You had to spell that shit out. All right, hold on. Miki.
And then Sudo.
Oh, look at that. She was fucking trending, so it was the first
yeah.
thing that came up.
Not horrible, right? Like it's, I mean, she's not hot.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she eats hot dogs for a living.
Correct.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, like not hot, but I wouldn't be like, oh, you must eat for a living.
But this shit was like trending like on Sports Center and stuff like that. And I was like, how the fuck is this a sport? And then they're going like, this guy Joey Chestnut is gotta be up there with like the Michael Jordans and them. And it's like, no, bitch. Like you don't get to stuff food in your mouth and then swallow quickly and then go, we're gonna compare you with guys that, I mean, I guess in some aspect you go, this dude has put in the time and effort to be able to do that. To be able to do his craft, but fuck, like why would you put these folks on a pedestal? Why would this be a thing? Why would a hot dog eating contest be a thing? Because I imagine this guy, and I have to go look it up. I don't know what his winnings are, but they walk away with like a fucking WWE type
like a
belt.
I see her with the belt.
Yeah.
Too.
And look up what do they make?
Dude, that's a good question. Because the
you
other thing
probably
is,
get sponsors, right? Nathan's Hot Dogs got to sponsor you.
So the remember the Japanese guy with Kawayaki when he was winning it for a while too. Like what was?
Oh, I don't know. This guy has won 16.
So damn, Joey Chestnut. He's 39. He's 6'1".
Dude, they said within 2 minutes he ate 22 hot dogs.
That's crazy. Joey Chestnut recently told USA Today Sports that he earned more than $500,000 last year as a competitive eater, and his net worth exceeds $4 million. Which the net worth you can't pay attention to as much because I mean
that could be real estate.
Yeah,
that
it's
could
real
be
estate
anything,
holdings,
right.
cash, a little bit of everything. So you go like
still, man, a $500,000 for last year for eating.
Oh, dude, you tell me I can make $500,000 a year eating hot dogs? That's
Yeah.
not a bad living, bro. Like fucking A, to eat hot dogs. And competitive eating, so there's a name for it. So he enters eating contests all year and makes $500,000.
Yeah,
good for him, bro. Fucking A.
I don't know how long you live on that shit, but like you said, I'm thinking maybe another year.
But to your point, bro, you don't have to. You figure he retires next year after that, Nathan signs him, somebody signs him. Even if you give him $100 or $200K a year to just be an endorser, he's set. He's good. Like you can live $100K a year off an endorsement, dude.
Yes,
not only
can.
Nathan's, I'd be like, Sarah Lee, what's up with this bread, Wonder Bread or whoever. Like,
I didn't even think about that, man. That's
dude,
right.
You can go with multiple things of like.
That's right. I didn't think about
that. Fucking lemonade company, whoever. Like, when I wash down my hot dogs, I choose Simply, and you just fucking like, it's coming, bro.
Simply hit us up.
Simply hit us up. Looking at you, Logan. Boom, boom. I'm looking at you. But shit, man, good for him. I'm always grossed out, and so the only reason I think that this one gets as big is because of the whole 4th of July aspect to it, and not because no one makes a big deal out of any of the other eating competitions. I'm sure there's a bunch, and this is like their Super Bowl, and it's every year. Coney Island, whatever, they do this thing there. Coney Island is like the birthplace of the hot dog too, right? It's supposed to be like. I think that's what's big about it. That
sounds right.
Yeah, it's like supposed to be like the birthplace of the hot dog. So I think that's where I think it's the tradition behind this is why it's sort of like put on a pedestal, just this specific event. I think I'd be really weirded out if they were like every weekend. They're like, Joey Chestnut kills the Blimpie Open. Because I'm assuming he's eating more than just hot dogs. Like there's got to be, if there's competitive eating, he's got to be eating subs and then eating fucking like.
And I don't know. I know that he actually holds the record. I didn't take note of how much. Oh, wait a minute. Here he goes. He set the record in 2021. 76 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes.
So he's getting slower and still winning.
He's getting slower and still beating the competition by 22.
That's wild, bro. Still beating by 20.
Dude, and you know what I find more disturbing is that people show up to watch this shit.
Like the fact that people are interested. Though I will say, I wouldn't go there to do it. But if you happen to be in Coney Island on the 4th of July and this is going on, you're gonna go watch.
I guess, man. It's just to me, like I've seen it on TV, like snippets of it. It gross. Just looks nasty.
It does. Like even like it's funny you were saying that, and as I was like scrolling through this week, like looking for stories and stuff, and I saw the highlight, and or actually it might have even been Instagram, like a Sports Center highlight. It was gross. Yeah, I was like, oh, like when it was like showing, it was showing.
It's like the not top 10.
Yeah, it's really weird, bro. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Even though I've seen like those pie eating ones that they'll do occasionally.
I don't want to see that either,
disgusting.
man.
I don't want to. Yeah,
dude, I don't even want to see. You know those restaurants that have like eat the fucking 5-pound steak.
Oh yeah,
and if you eat it, you get it for free.
I may or may not be on a wall somewhere.
You done that shit, bro?
Not for a steak. I think I did it for a burger. Like if you finish this massive, actually it doesn't exist anymore. There was a local burger joint here.
Is it the one, the Teeks?
No.
Didn't they have one?
They used to have something.
They had something like that. Yeah,
you're right. But there was this one here in this area called Waterford Lakes. Man, I wish I could remember what the burger joint was called. But the burger joint was like old school. So it was like the old like floats, and they had like a jukebox. And it wasn't like Johnny Rockets or any of those or like Steak and Shake, but it was like a local joint. But it had that theme. And it was all pink and stuff, but they used to have this thing where if you could finish this burger, they put you on their little wall of fame.
Yeah,
I sure did go ham on this burger though. But not for nothing, that shit hurt, bro.
Yeah,
like
bro.
It was painful, bro. Like I was like disgustingly full for like 2 days. Like, it was horrible.
Did you just not eat after that? Like,
no,
seriously?
I didn't want to even look at food after that, bro. I couldn't even drink water. Like it was so gross, bro. And it was this big ass burger, and it was slamming. It was great.
Yeah, I'm sure it tasted really good.
But I just wanted to finish it because I wanted to get on the wall because I was like 19 and stupid. So I was like,
so did you come home and just fucking sleep?
Oh yeah, bro. You don't move. I could barely drive. I wish I could remember what this damn place is called, man. Because I'm like, I want to go. It's not there anymore. I know it's not there anymore because I pass by there all the time. But it was a cool burger place here, man. And it was pink like neon lighting, and it had like again like the old school like jukebox, and it had like floats, and it had milkshakes and that sort of thing. Like yeah, I can remember. Yeah, it'll come to me.
I was gonna say it's got to be something. It's got to be on the internet somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Let me see it because I know what area it is. I'm gonna see if it pops up when I look at it now. It's because all I'm getting are the new joints.
Yeah, that's all I got too.
Yeah, all I got are the new joints. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm gonna try to put a year. Let's see. I didn't get anything there. Yeah, I try to like see if I put a. Oh, it's a place called Extinct Orlando. And it has a list of places that. No, this one almost sounded like it, but this one has a list of extinct burger joints in Orlando. Oh fuck yeah! I don't got that kind of time. This list is big. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the closest thing I've ever done to something like that. Again, gross. It wasn't a career path I sought out. I just happened to be there that night, and I used to go there all the time, and never did it.
Yep.
And it was just one of those nights where just like, let's try it, like trying to get on this fucking wall.
Yeah, fuck that. Well, this dude, Joey Chestnut, he's won all of the Nathan's hot dog eating contests since 2007, except one.
What?
And my guess is he was probably fucking sick or something.
Oh my god. Yeah. I was gonna say because Kobayashi or whatever was the one who used to win it all the time, dude.
Really?
Like, yeah, man. That guy was like.
I'm glad I don't know that name. And I hope that I forget. I hope that I forget Joey Chestnut tomorrow. Dude, I don't even want to know these people, man.
I hope I forget Joey Chestnut tomorrow. Poor Joey Chestnut. Yeah, you know what, man? Fucking that shit's gross. But good for him for figuring out how to make a living doing some gross shit, dude.
Dude, let me hit you with this shit right here, man. So there was a woman that her man was in jail.
Okay.
But she wanted to get pregnant. And I would think that typically you would do the conjugal visits.
Right. Okay.
But I think that wasn't available to them. But she still wanted to get pregnant.
Okay.
So she had him mail his sperm through the post office.
Okay. Like literally.
And then she turkey basted
the
into her. It didn't work.
Oh. Nah?
That shit did not work.
You never read a fucking book before?
Bro, when I was reading this article, I was like, oh no, she must have got pregnant from some other dude, and then it's like, yo, mail me your shit. I want it right? Isn't that would be a fucking, I go that would be a genius move.
I didn't cheat on you, man. I want your baby. I turkey basted my shit on you.
And then she's already pregnant.
Yeah. And then she's like, yo, it worked.
Yeah, but no, as I read through the article, she thought it worked because I guess she was late, but it didn't. And she was, and I guess the guy was sort of getting out soon, so she was like, no, I'm not gonna try again. I'm gonna wait. But literally had this dude, and I'm just like, it didn't go into
what
how.
What do you put it in?
What do you have access to in jail?
In jail, that you're like
that you can stick it in the fucking envelope, and the USPS takes it and delivers it somewhere, fucking, at least 3 days later.
Yeah, so
right? Because even when you mail shit in your local, it takes about 3 days to get it.
Yeah. She just got cum floating in an envelope.
I didn't know it lasted like that.
It's not supposed to.
It ain't supposed to, right? But as I'm reading the article, I'm just going oh, this bitch, she's already pregnant.
Yo, this is why, you know how in school, there's always this controversy on whether or not you should teach sex and like health and all this shit. The fact that retarded motherfuckers like this still think that some shit like that would work. It's kind of crazy. She was probably late because even her own body was like, we should kill this
think about that. No, maybe she's banging somebody outside. She's late. And then goes, baby, I want to try this thing. Send it to me.
Oh, send it to me. And then it's
it didn't work. Right.
You got a fallback plan.
Right.
But if you're him, bro, yo, again, dude, people don't be thinking of shit. Like, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna provide for this baby with my newly found felony.
You can work remote now, right?
That motherfucker was working remote. Yo, how you a remote sperm donor? That's kind of it works on so many levels. You could work remote. Like, nah, you could be a criminal doing a call center, picking up, like, imagine doing customer service calls as a criminal, as an ex-convict. Yeah, why you calling? Well, did you try unplugging it?
Did you turn that motherfucker on?
Oh shit! I'm sorry, criminals. We like y'all. Don't come after us. We might need to hire y'all as a bodyguard one day. That is not a remote opportunity. Yo, you see Subway getting in trouble for a fucking joke they made about the sub on their billboard?
No.
Or not their billboard, the sign in front of the store. One of the franchisees, I'm assuming, put a sign in front of the store.
Where is it?
Oh, bro. It says, I got the picture of the sign. That shit said, "Our subs don't implode."
Too soon?
It's in Georgia, and it's in Rincon, Georgia, which I didn't even know there was a Rincon in Georgia. That's the town I'm from in Puerto Rico. So when I saw Rincon, I was like, God damn it! And then it said Georgia. I was like, oh, okay. I never heard of that. That means it's boonies, but so people were giving them shit.
I was gonna say I want to know the demographic on that one.
In Rincon, Georgia. Ooh, that's a toughie. I got to see it on a map first. I got to see where it's located. Like, what's the proximity to Atlanta or Savannah? Or Helena, because then it gets real weird. Let's see.
Rincon City. Here we go. Racial makeup. Let's see. 73% white, 18% black, 5% other.
Yo, what is that in comparison to, like, Atlanta?
Or the opposite.
Is it? Just flip flipping. The only one that stays the same is other. Nah, can you imagine if Atlanta is like... Nah, Atlanta's still got to be mostly white.
Let's see. Here we go. Atlanta. About just under 50% black.
Okay.
40% white. And 5% Asian.
Yeah, so the other stayed the same.
That's
funny as fuck. Well, Asians, step it up. A little less trying to get into Harvard, a little more fucking. Yeah, you'd be taking over the population right now. Oh shit, dude. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Do you think? I saw a lot of jokes made this week about that whole shit. Obviously, the memes were on fire about that whole sub thing and all that. Like, I mean, it is in poor taste to put that on your business.
Our subs don't implode.
And I think I'm more upset that it's a cheap joke. It's not even good. Like, I'm like, man, you could have written like a really good joke for that.
It's
like,
still funny.
It is funny, but I'm saying it's like the easy. It's like a hack joke. It's like
it is.
It's like that's too easy, bro. Like, I wanted you to get creative.
That's you comedians.
Yeah.
You're being too hard on us. On us regular folk.
On the regular. No, it's like hacky. Like, you know, there's like the obvious jokes. Like, there's always like obvious like white versus black, or like there's always the obvious like I don't know, again, like old people, young people, or like this is like sub. It's like, oh, our subs don't implode. It's like that's like the one that everybody could have thought of. You know what I mean? Like, that's like hacky, where it's just like it's not new. It isn't even creative. It's like it's the easy one that all of us would have gotten. Like, yeah. So like, but it's just I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. So the fact I thought it was hilarious if they would put it on there. You know what I mean? Like,
no, like you
balls,
said, it's like too soon, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But it's never too soon.
No, man, it's never. But
I think when it comes to comedy, it's never too soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously there's never too soon. I go, it ain't for everybody, but there's
no, definitely not. Like, I mean, one of the comedians that we both like, you know, Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh gosh,
that guy is notorious for that. Like, it's never too soon.
No. Oh God! Remember his thing used to be like day of a tragedy. He would, and I don't know. If
he would put
stopped,
shit on it.
But day of the
did he
tragedy,
stop?
yeah, he has stopped, man. He's actually come out now and said there's certain topics he just won't touch anymore. Like certain things with kids where he used to, he's like, I won't do it.
Is he like is he a dad now or
No, he's like I don't want to say a loner, but he's kind of like a homebody person, whatever. So
Okay.
I think he's just saying like I think there's just so much bad
got
shit that
fucking-
happens out there. It's like it's
moral?
just not funny anymore. It's like morally he just feels a little different about it now. So he'll
wow.
still make fun of certain things, but now he goes, I actually have a list. Like I think he's like I won't make a rape joke anymore, or like where he used to, or I won't make which is like. It's whatever I
mean,
mean,
whatever.
like people like evolve in their own way or whatever.
Yep.
But like you said, it's just like his thing that he's known for. So it's one of those things that, dude, I still think Tosh has like one of the best jokes of like 9/11 ever. Have you ever heard Daniel Tosh's joke where he goes,
no,
you remember
no.
what it was like dropping somebody off at the airport before 9/11? You had to fucking park and walk all the way inside the airport and take the monorail or whatever and literally wait with them at the gate. And then when they got on the plane, you kind of left them or whatever.
Yep.
It would be like, he was like, it was fucking horrible. He's like, now I'm not allowed inside. I think I drop you off on the curbside and I gotta go. And he's like, that's worth a tower. And he goes, not two.
Or two.
And he goes, not two. It's worth more. It's fucking so good. And I butchered the joke. I'm sorry, Daniel.
No, that's pretty good.
But
though,
it's
man.
like that's the premise behind it is like that. But I remember like people would be fuming over this 9/11 joke, and he's one of those where like it's never too late. He even has a great slavery joke that's like where he goes into like slavery was horrible, and then he's like later, and then he goes, but the fact that I grew up idolizing black people my entire life. And we managed to pull off slavery. It's kind of neat. It's really good, man. If y'all haven't listened to Daniel Todd, you gotta go listen to this.
What was his show that used to be on E?
Oh no, it was the E or Comedy Central.
Good question.
It was the one where he would play it's Tosh.0.
Tosh.0.
It's Tosh.0. Yeah.
I love when he used to bring people on there. Like he bring the fucking the chick that didn't have any arms but did everything with her feet. and she was small.
And he would just be fucking with people on and he would do like it was like almost like America's Funniest Home Video, but he was just like he would take like the viral shit and just he's so. I wonder if it's still a thing. Is that even still
I don't
a thing?
know, man. If it is, I haven't seen it.
Comedy Central's like dead, so I don't even know what's on Comedy Central anymore.
No.
It's wild.
I definitely haven't seen him in a while.
He definitely started touring again. I'm curious to see what like his next special is gonna sound like.
Yeah,
because I haven't seen him in years, and he is the like dark.
And he's our local boy, man, from UCF.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, grew up here, so it would be cool to see him, man.
How we doing on time, bro?
Dude, we're right at an hour and 2 minutes.
All right, man. I definitely gotta hit you up with something.
All right.
But do you have anything that you wanna?
Nah, man. Hit me with yours. Hit me with yours, man.
All right, man. Because this is gonna be good.
Okay.
So there was a priest and a nun.
I like where this is going already. And then they found cocaine at the White House.
The end.
I already said the punchline earlier. We're working our way back. Sorry, go ahead.
No, the end. That's it. So there was a priest and a nun that were recently suspended, right, from their duties, and the reason why they were suspended was because they were sexting each other.
They're sexting each other?
Yeah. Dude. So you go, it's already on the up and up, man. Like the priest is not molesting boys, right? Nuns are, I don't know what are they known for? I don't know. So the priest was actually, and I'm gonna skip like their names and stuff. You guys can go look at this story if you wanna, if you're that interested. But the priest is actually a former like Navy officer, and then he got like this brain tumor, and then he got really religious.
Yeah, right? Nothing will make you see it. Yeah,
you don't say.
See that, yeah.
Right, and so so these two like they met, I guess, at some point, and I don't even know if it was face to face or not, but they developed this relationship that was texting and emails and some video calls.
Okay.
And the nun actually like admitted that we developed this long distance relationship and we have been sort of sexting and doing this inappropriate stuff over text and whatever. The nun is in a wheelchair, so she's wheelchair bound.
This gets better.
And she uses even a feeding tube.
Because of the priest? Or did this happen before?
I didn't say what they were putting down that tube.
And wait for cookies. They fit that one.
But no, man, I'm looking at this and I'm going like, so they got suspended. And I'm going, yo, this dude is not molesting kids. And, you know, like the whole shit with like, and this is like Catholic church, right? Which I wasn't raised in a Catholic church. That shit is not normal to have humans go, I'm never gonna have sex.
No.
Like it's just not, it's not biologically normal.
I guess that's why it's considered like a sacrifice for like a religion, right?
It is.
It goes
It's a sacrifice.
completely against human nature.
Correct.
To make them live that way. Yeah. But you're asking for trouble.
But I'm going like, yo, these two, if that's all they were doing, shouldn't they be able to do that?
Was the suspension because it wasn't a little boy? Like, what are the details? I need more information.
They were disappointed.
Because I tell you, as you were going through that, A, it shocked me that he had a cell phone, or that the Catholic Church even had a line. They're like, heterosexual contact? Absolutely not. Like, consensual heterosexual. And then they found out she had the feeding tube, and they're like, oh, so she can't consent. Fine, we lift the suspension. Either way for Cookie and ask for forgiveness.
I was thinking something like this, man. You get about 20 Our Fathers and 10 Hail Marys, and you're good to go.
Yo, I want to read that thread.
I don't.
Can she talk?
I think so. I don't know for a fact. I think so. No, well, yeah, they said that she, you know, like she admitted to doing it.
Right.
So I assume she can speak.
Yeah, she wrote. Nah, bro. I'm trying to think.
Maybe she had to fucking type it.
The type it. Yo, man, she's like, I want you to throat fuck me. And he pulls up and she takes the tube out of her throat. She's like, no, literally. Right here.
She got the fucking thing.
She got the machine. The smokers use. Father Frank. Put it here. Oh, shit.
So listen, if y'all hearing us out there, reinstate these two. Let them get their sex on.
Man,
give them a couple fucking
bro.
prayers to do, and absolve them from their sins. Goddamn.
Yeah, man. You get more. I think if your idea is to attract people to come do this, because you got to be running out of folks. Like, fuck, man. Let them at least diddle each other. Shit. Yo, one day a week.
Yo, imagine though. Is this could be a thing, bro? If you become a priest or a nun, you can only bang a priest or a nun.
Yeah, dude, you do this, bro. You get all the priests vasectomies. You give all the nuns
hysterectomies.
Whatever the fuck their thing is.
Yep.
And then you guys can do it with each other, as long as it's consensual or whatever. And you have designated days.
All in God's kingdom.
And then in that day, instead of none, you change the name to yes, and then and it's open season. And then you let the nuns pick. Like, you make it fair.
Yeah,
let the nuns pick like who they want. See, we could solve again, bro. Nobody comes to us with these answers, bro. We solving all kinds of shit.
God damn it. All right, man. On that, tell them where they can find us.
Not at the Catholic Church. We won't be let in.
We're gonna walk in that bitch and burn up.
But at the Carbon Football Podcast on Instagram, at Carbon FP Pod on Twitter, Carbon FP Pod on TikTok, the Carbon Football Podcast on YouTube, all your favorite listening platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, Audible. And Threads. Well, we are creating a Threads. Threads is the new Twitter competitor to created by Meta, Instagram, Facebook. So we'll have a thread as well, man. So hit us up. Come follow us. Let's have some fun. And comment on the like and subscribe and comment on the drink. Whatever side that is. I think it's over there. There's some on both sides. Just hit them. Turn on your notifications. Do all that.
And yo, as always, we appreciate you guys. And we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.